Hello and welcome to the India Investor Week on the Money Show, your one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries and strategies. I'm Kavita Thapliyal. And today, a very special topic on the show. Are you teaching your children about investing? As they become aware of money and other financial concepts, it's important to familiarize them with investing and arm them with the know-how and tools to take with them into adult life. Children mature at different rates, of course, so it may be a while before they are ready to tackle concepts such as portfolio creation and asset allocation, but you can teach them the basics of investing when they are quite young. And the right way to do all of this is by introducing the right kind of money manners to your kids early on. So let's deep dive into teaching your kids the basics of financial management. And for all of this today, I have a very special panel. I have with me Pratik Oswal, Chief of Business Passive Funds, Motilal Oswal Asset Management Company, and Dr. Tanmay Motiwala, pediatric surgeon. Good evening and welcome to this very special edition of the Money Show. And Pratik, let me begin with you. I just want you to compare the kind of money management lessons you've got in your childhood and the ones that now with the entire change in the environment and the way we are looking at young India approaching investments, the kind of learnings you might want to give to your kid, Pratik.
Thanks, Kavita, for having me. When it comes to money management, when if I talk about my own experience, to be honest, I was very lucky to be exposed to a lot of good books, a lot of good, money managers like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Phil Fisher, all these guys. So I was very lucky to have started reading at a very early age. My first finance book was something when I was maybe 12 or 13. And by the time I was 18, I must have read about, I don't know, 30, 40 books. So I think a lot of my knowledge about investing, about personal finance has come from books. And that has been, something which has been with me for the last 25, 30 years. And I do recommend, children or kids to get into money management a lot earlier because, it's said that, the beauty about investing is that if you look at every single wealthy person on the planet, and when you have kids, so I have a 16-month-old daughter right now, and what is really important, what I've seen in life is that if you look at every wealthy person on the planet, they are wealthy, because of one specific thing, which is because they own stuff. They own their own company, or they own equities or gold or real estate. So ownership is very important, and wealthy people tend to pride themselves in ownership. When you are bringing up your kids, you tend to optimize on a job, but unfortunately what we've seen is that jobs don't really relate to wealth creation. Your lifestyle also goes up. So I do believe that parents today should inculcate talking about money management from an ownership lens, because that is a one thing that will help them get financial freedom.
Very interesting. Tanmay, I also want to know your experience, the kind of money management skills that you've received as a child. You know, the basic understanding of money manners. How was it? And something that, you wished you had got at a very early age, or you might have learned at a very early age, Tanmay.
Hey Kavita, thank you so much for having me on the show. And it's good that doctor is being taken into discussion where it's not just about the physical health, but it is about the financial health as well. And
Yeah.
I do feel that it is one of those areas which is more neglected as of what my example also would relate to this. Contrary to what Pratik said, I think I was never exposed to money management or those things apart from the basic things like going to a bank or something like that. I happened to read the books which Pratik said, like Buffett or Munger or Peter Lynch, later in my life, around 23 or 24, during my age. So I feel that if you start early, if you see the basic formula of compounding, we learn those mathematic problems during early age. Maybe I started it in less than 10 years, but then I never got to experience how the real compounding works in life, because I was never taught in school in a real life examples. So if you see that formula of compounding, the most important factor is time. and we always, lay more and more stress on returns as compared to time. So if we can include this thing as a part of a curriculum or as a part of a parenting curriculum, wherein we start talking to our children about personal finance and basic nuances regarding this, and we can maybe start index funds for them, starting at a very early age, where they may not be knowing much about it, but then the amount of wealth that can be generated using that simple hack, that can be really significant. So I think this is pretty much important as to what you said. So contrary to what I didn't get, I would really wish the viewers who are tuning in for this show that you start early. Don't take talking about money as a taboo, because this is what happens when you talk to children about money. They feel that the society feels that you are trying to make them money minded, but this is very, very wrong notion. So I think this is where the show like this comes in, and where we are talking about how to inculcate these habits in children. Yeah.
Point, where you've left your answer, Tanmay and Pratik, I would like you to take it up from here, because it is no more about do roti, kapda and makan. Okay, if you can afford to get more, then why not? All right. So, and very good thing about the recent trend that we are seeing is this mindset is changing, and we are not only talking about urban India, we are talking about tier 2 and tier 3, which is also a very huge part of young India. Pratik.
Yeah, so absolutely. So, I think we've always, sort of, I think very important part about, about, money management is to, one obviously is understand what investing is, what compounding is. And the other thing which, I think equally important is to understand money management from a spending lens. I think something as easy as pocket money, can be really impactful, from the kids' perspective, for them to understand, budgeting, if they had, say, this much amount of money that they have to spend over the next 2, 3 weeks, I think budgeting skills comes in very picture. And they also understand the value of, having versus not having enough money for their daily needs. So I think, this is a concept which is very popular in the West. It's something which does not exist here, but I do believe that this is really helpful, for at least the young kids to understand the value of budgeting. Thirdly, also, it's very important to also look at, at least I believe, is the importance of, earning money very early on in life. And this doesn't have to be in a form of a formal job, but also I think the idea is if you could, find some, part-time work somewhere, or be able to just, earn money on the hourly basis. It really, you really understand the value of, what it takes to earn money very early, and also prepares you towards, a much more sort of, life where you are not surprised by whatever happens to you. So I think apart from, say, investing, which I think is very, very, very important and underpenetrated and undertaught, and as doctor said, that the power of compounding is the most important, and the people tend to focus too much on what to invest and how to get the best returns. But ultimately, the most important decision is actually when to invest, which is as early as possible. People who just people who invest at age 11 versus age 20 or 30 will see substantial differences in their wealth, as they get older. So we do ask, and I think financial freedom, as I said, just does come from savings, or from investing in the stock market, or owning any asset class. So I think partly budgeting, partly earning, and partly investing. If parents are able to teach their kids through experience, the one of these things or all of these three things, kids can be better prepared for life overall.
Also, one very important concept which I want Tanmay you want to answer, and maybe just take the lead from Pratik, where he also highlighted that one needs to diversify their income also. Your investments definitely need to be diversified, but then I think we are also seeing a time where having multiple sources of income would be like the primary, or a very basic and a natural mode of making money. Having said that, how can you help your child understand the importance of delayed gratification? How can you make this particular thing a part of your upbringing, Tanmay?
So I think this is more to do with the parenting, and it is a very relevant question at this point of juncture, because every second patient that comes to me in the OPD, even for a surgical cause, their parents do have a complaint that my child would just keep crying or develop some sort of habits where they will get agitated or keep crying if whatever they ask for is not given to them. And you know what happens is whenever you want to get something and you get it instantly, then there is this thing called as dopamine kick. You get that dopamine kick, and then you want more of it. Now, to understand this, if you keep on doing this for a prolonged period of time, then you won't understand the art of waiting and earning something. You just want at a click. Now there's a blanket, there's a Zomato. You get food. If you don't like the food that is cooked at home, you get it instantly. You want to buy something, even the iPhones are getting delivered right now in 10 minutes. So there's a generation wherein we used to wait, I think, for to watch our favorite movie on the TV channel for a month, or we used to take the time when it is coming. Then compared to it now, we just get it instantly. You just download it or you just see it on the YouTube. But how it corresponds to the financial world is, you know even if we are not having the spending capability, we would want to buy things on EMI. The EMI culture has been rising significantly. I have seen lots of colleagues of mine also who would spend the extra money that they would be getting in the next few months and just use it to buy maybe an expensive iPhone or a car, and do not respect what is debt-free world. So I think the best gift anyone's parent has given to them, if they are debt-free, you should respect it, and then you should understand that there are things that you'll have to keep saving in small amounts. Maybe do some financial planning for it, be it a vacation in a good international spot, or be it your something which is a dream car or a dream bike or something like that. But then you are not supposed to get it right away when you plan it. So this is how the process of delayed gratification works. But then when you earn it, then you realize the importance of your money, and then you spend it wisely.
Right. That's very important. And also, Pratik, so should you be teaching your kids to become rich, wealthy, or should you be teaching them how to become a smart investor? What's the difference between the two, and what should be the approach, Pratik?
Yeah, so I think I think what I've seen in in my experience as managing money for people is that the investors make more money than smart investors. So I think if you look at a lot of our investors, the doctors, lawyers tend to make a lot more money than the smarter people, or people who think who are smart, because ideally investing is best done when it's left alone, where you invest and forget for life. So, I would definitely, choose to be a investor over a smart investor. But, I think, coming back to the concept of delayed gratification, investing itself is, delayed gratification. I think if you're looking at it, you have an option to either spend the money or invest it for your future. And I think somewhere everyone needs to understand the importance of the balance of spending today versus tomorrow. I think when it comes to, I think when you decide on, say, investing 30% of your income every month or every year, that itself is delayed gratification. You could really spend that money, and that is helping your future, and that's really building your wealth so that you're able to be financially free. I think with kids, honestly, what I've at least seen is that most parents want their kids to be happy, but unfortunately, keeping kids happy makes them unhappy, because keeping them happy means giving them whatever they want, not whatever they need, and that's what really gets them to not learn delayed gratification. That's one. Second is that it's very important for kids to understand investing, but also experience failure, experience struggle, experience pain, because that's where learnings come from, and that is also a form of delayed gratification, where if your kid wants to get an internship somewhere, doing it on their own will not work for them. They may fail, but they'll probably learn a lot in life through that experience than just them having to experience. So I think overall, parents who are more comfortable with, having their kids struggle a little bit. Also, parents who teach their kids the importance of savings, of delayed gratification, end up being very successful. There's a very popular study done in Stanford, which is called the marshmallow test, which says, and this has been studied for many decades, where kids who exhibited delayed gratification at a very young age end up becoming a lot more successful in their careers than kids who do not. So I think parents who are able to, I think communicate this to their kids, and making sure that they're not able to get everything on the spot, will be a lot better off for the kids in the future. Lastly, today we are looking at the biggest struggle in today's time is, as doctor said, is going to be everything is available instantly. So the internet, so I think overall, I think being able to navigate this world through a lens of everything being available instantly is going to be the biggest challenge for this generation. So I think somewhere, I think the entire piece of delayed gratification is a lot more important for this generation than probably it was for us, or maybe our parents.
One last question to both of you, and this is the same question that I'll be asking to both of you. So, Tanmay, I want to understand now, since you are also known as an investor, you share your investing journey with your followers and your subscribers. Do you handle your parents' money? Do you handle the financial portfolio? Do you guide them as to where should they be parking their money?
Oh, yes. So, it's a funny story. So, I started my investing journey around at the age of 23. It's been almost 7 years or so in the markets. Initially, my parents used to feel that if you put, I think that's the notion with lots of parents who don't come from a financial background. They used to feel that if you put money in the market, then probably you'll lose it, or it's like a betting, and the money would never come back. So my initial phase of before I started my journey in the markets, I spent a lot of time reading good books and learning what to do. It's almost like in a medical curriculum, we learn the basics first, and then when you know the anatomy and the physiology and the medical part, then only you're going to go and operate a patient. If you don't do it, then probably you'll end up failing. So this is how I learned the process. I started managing my own money, and when my parents, I used to discuss it with them later. Like I tell them how I do it, and then they started, attending the talks that we used to do on Twitter, and then they realized that okay, there is a process to it, and this is how they understood that it's not just betting, and then it's a systematic way of creating wealth for yourself, and that's where they handed over my the money which they wanted to invest in the market. So now I am managing it for them as well.
Pratik, the same question to you, but with a slight change. How would you like to contribute in your daughter's financial life as a father? And how does this thought make you feel of your daughter managing your money and your portfolio?
I think so. As this, I think in terms of money management, obviously, what I would do is, I think as I said, compounding is the most important. So I would, invest for her ASAP. So maybe next year itself, I'll start investing for her, education, or whatever the investments is, and hopefully I'll introduce her to investing and compounding at a much early age. I'll also obviously, because I think from the industry, it's important for self learn. What I've learned is that self learn is more important than me teaching her. So hopefully I'll be able to create an environment where she'll be able to self learn concepts and self learn good principles of investing, so that and I'll also, it's very important to also give freedom and flexibility on what they want to do. So if she wants to try out in options trading, why not? Let her learn from it. So I think that's what I would do, is inculcate self-learning and also save. In terms of her managing my money, I think, it's going to be a while from now, but I'll be more than happy for her to do that. I think, and hopefully, I think, she'll do a better job than what I've done so far.
Definitely, I can sense that proud father feeling already in you while you're answering this question, Pratik. Well, on that note, thank you so much, both of you, for being a part of this show and helping our viewers, teach their kids the right kind of money manners or money management skills. Thank you so much, both of you. All right, time for a quick break on the Money Show, and India Investor Week continues. We'll be joined by Sameer Shah, who will be answering our viewer queries live after this break. Welcome back. You're watching India Investor Week on the Money Show, and now it's time to get our mutual fund portfolio queries answered. And for that, I have with me Sameer Shah, Head Online Business Access Security. Sameer, good evening and welcome to the show. In fact, welcome to a very special edition of the Money Show, India Investor Week, and you will be helping our viewers to do their life financial planning on the show. And I start this with Rajni's question for you, and she says that she started her SIP in September 23, and the portfolio that she's made for herself, she has invested, she's doing an SIP in Nippon India Small Cap, Nippon India Multi Cap, UTI Nifty 50 Index, Kotak Emerging Equity, Kotak Multi Asset Fund of Fund, SBI Contra, SBI Large and Mid Cap, HDFC Small Cap, HDFC Balance Advantage, ICICI Pro Equity and Debt, and she has a Flexi Cap of Parag Parekh. Okay, so I'm limited in terms of details which you might want, to know how long she wants to stay invested. But considering the period is more than 5 years, a clear case of over diversification as well. So what should we filter out?
So, Kavita ji, good evening, and thank you for having me here. It is always a pleasure to be on your show. Now, on like now we have analyzed Rajni's portfolio, and you have rightly pointed out it is another case of diversification of the portfolio. So, first suggestion to her would be like no, if she can reduce this scheme from 11 to 7. That is the first suggestion from our side. Second, like no, we have done analysis and we are suggesting some bit of changes in the current scheme. First is like no, she can merge Nippon Multicap with Parag Parekh FlexiCap. Second is replace SBI Large and Mid Cap Fund with Motilal Oswal Large and Mid Cap Fund. Combine like no, this is a suggestion like no, she is having a two small cap fund. So the fourth suggestion would be combine HDFC small cap with Nippon India small cap fund. And the fifth is like no, there are two hybrid funds. So one's like no, suggestion will be if she can merge HDFC Balance Advantage Fund with ICICI Prudential Equity and Debt Fund. So these are the suggestion to reduce the some bit of scheme. And after this implementation, the total scheme would be around 8. Still, like no, over a period of time, she can consider to reduce one more scheme. The another part is like no, the way you said like no, consider that like no, if she is investing more than 5 years. So if she continue investing 50,000 rupees monthly SIP for another 10 years, the accumulated wealth would be around 1.35 crore. And if she can continue for another 5 years, that means 15 years, then the amount would be whooping 2.85. And in 20 years, this amount will increase to 5.6 CR. So this is our view on her portfolio.
All right, so some changes that you've recommended. She needs to merge Nippon Multicap with Parag Parekh Flexi Cap, and definitely needs to consider reducing the number of schemes in the portfolio. All right, Sameer, let's move on to Mahindra's question. He says that he's 37 years old. Total SIP that he's doing is of 16,000. And okay, he agrees to the fact that he's over diversified. So I think that's a very good point here. I will not read out the name of the fund since you already have the details. Okay, so he's been investing since last 2 years in this portfolio.
So, Kavita ji, I must say that like no, this realization must have come after watching your show. Here, like no, the portfolio again, the reiterate myself that portfolio should not be having more than 7 scheme, and particularly when you are doing SIP of 16,000 rupees, selecting 12 scheme, it is fairly over diversified. So, suggestion here would be. Like no, he has a two large cap fund. So one would be like no, if she can if he can retain uh, Nippon large cap India fund and merge Aditya Birla with the Nippon India large cap fund. And here my suggestion would be like no, have at least 50% of the total SIP, which means 8,000 would be should be going to large cap fund. He has 7 small cap schemes, which is very over diversified. So suggestion would be have keep maximum two small cap scheme. One would be quant small cap and another would be SBI small cap. Rest remaining all can be merged with these two schemes. And the third suggestion on his portfolio would be replace ICICI Prudential Mid Cap Fund with Motilal Oswal Mid Cap Fund. So these are some suggestions which he can implement on his portfolio.
All right, so that's the solution coming up for Mahindra. But with that, it's time up on the show today. Thank you so much, Sameer, for being a part of this show and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio queries. And before signing off, I'm going to leave our viewers with our WhatsApp number and email ID where they can send across their questions. Do send us all details about your investments and also the financial goals which are aligned with these investments to get the right kind of expert advice on the show live from us. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
There comes a time when your heart calls for you to arise. Plant your feet solid into the ground. Decide your own limits. And then break right through them. Become something more. It's my time to rise.